What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you guys, well, with another market watch today. Before I begin, I got two things I'm going to be showing you guys, and we're going to be playing a bit of a game today on the market watch. It's going to be a crazy video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Now, listen, we have two things here. Imperial Duel sent me a while ago this beautiful Invoke binder. I mean, it's absolutely insane. You unfortunately can't get it anymore. And then I recently got the Formula 9 Imperial Duelist binder. I'm going to be making a video about this binder, as well as Imperium Duel's backpack. And if you guys want yours, make sure to go to their website. Once again, like I said, I'll have a video coming out talking more about these. But this thing looks absolutely amazing. If you guys are interested in getting them, you can go to Imperium Duel's website. And on their website, you can find the binder over here. They have the Imperial Armor binder. There's only 300 made. That one's roughly around $25. And of course, the Formula 9, which is limited edition, just like the Invoke binder, that one's currently roughly around $40. Also, if you want the backpacks, they come in two sizes, regular and XL, $70, $90. Use promo code Paisano10. I will definitely have a video coming out. I'm not sure when. It's going to be a bit of a crazy day for me. My twin kids, boy and a girl, are be coming into my house today. So we're just running around today. But I really want to make this market watch video and play a bit of a mini game. Once again, hit the subscribe button, like button, comment down below, and let me know what you think about this mini game. So let's play the mini game. Will it survive the Banlist? You see, there are so many things happening right now as far as speculation. First of all, we don't even know if the Banlist is going to be coming out. My prediction will be either today or tomorrow. We'll more than likely get a Banlist. If not, after the YCS, the Remote Duel YCS, which is next month on the 10th. Then we'll more than likely will see a Banlist. I think we should get a Banlist before. That would be more exciting. People will be more pumped to go in and, well, to be honest with you, figure out what decks to get, what to buy, what to sell. The market's going to be going crazy, and I think it'll make a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players more excited about the game overall. With that said, let me know. First thing we're going to talk about is Ignisters. So, looking at Ignisters, we obviously saw them see play throughout the weekend, and this was their actual debut. Even though they had about an extra week or two, you know, with the new support coming out of Lightning Overdrive, Dark Infinite makes this deck insanely better. But then again, did it see any play on this debut weekend? No, the answer is no, it didn't. It saw no play, zero play, but yet here we are. This past weekend, you could go and see a bunch of deck profiles from a lot of players that play this deck, and I guess everybody was just testing it out. So, looking at Chi-Chi, its current price point is roughly around $18. Picari or Pikachu is roughly around $12, and those are more or less the money cards. The rest of the deck core is relatively inexpensive. Of course, you're going to need the field spell, Ignister AI land. This card right now is roughly around $30. You need two. I know some players want to run one, some players want to run three. You just need two. That's the magic number. I see in almost every deck list this past weekend. Two. Alright, then up next we have Tribrigade. Now, once again, will Tribrigade survive the Banlist? Oh, by the way, let me give you my inference. Even though I really like Ignisters, I recently bought the deck core, I do not think Ignisters will survive the Banlist. I think the Banlist will be so detrimental that Ignisters can't survive. The deck is really good, and it requires to pop off as fast as possible to put in a body on board that you just can't break through. You know, a new version of a card in which you can't do nothing about, and it's going to just destroy you. Like, there's a lot to it. I'll have probably another video talking about Ignisters in general. But overall, yeah, no, I don't think Ignisters will survive. They're really, really good right now. And if we have another Banlist where we hit meta decks, and this will become a meta deck. And I don't think Konami's going to be doing that. Then we have Tribrigades. Now, as much as, you know, there's a lot of craziness around Tribrigade Rendezvous being one of the most broken cards, probably in the competitive meta right now of Yu-Gi-Oh, arguably one of them, obviously nowhere near as good as like Dragoon or Mystic Mine, I do think Tribrigades will survive the Banlist. This deck can play really fast in a combo variation of itself, we've seen that already, and the deck can play a lot slower, and that was what makes Tribrigade a really dangerous deck. Don't get me wrong, Rendezvous is broken and should be hitting the Banlist. I agree with anyone that says that, but will it? I really don't know. Looking at a lot of Tribrigade cards, we already see the OTS 16 Nervos coming in being roughly around $9. Wait on it. It will go down in value. Little fun fact with OTSs, every single one we have gotten, some of the cards, or at least one deck core of a meta deck on that OTS has been hit on the Banlist. Could this one be Tribrigades or could it be Drytrons? My money's on Drytrons, by the way. Okay. Up next, Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion. This is one of the cards you can play to, well, for the most part, stop Tribrigades. You slap it on a Rendezvous, they're basically playing the most basic deck in the game, and you're going to win that game more than likely, or at least stunt them so you can try to win that game. Looking at Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion, the current price of the card is roughly around $40. By the way, After that one's sold, the price point goes to $45 and then to $61. It's crazy how Ghostbound Haunted Mansion, a card at, by the way, the secret rare at low was I think around 12, has since then become almost as expensive as the original print first edition Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. But then again, are we shocked by that? Because even though this card doesn't do what Ash does in a given meta, and we're technically in that given meta, Ghostbelt is just as good, if not better, than Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. And that's crazy to say. Then we have Infinite Permanence. I talked about this in my last Market Watch, I believe, or the one before that one. And I talked about how Infinite Permanence is just a blowout card. A lot of people play in Triple Attackers Talents, and this card makes it so that does nothing, number one. Number two, you play against Drytrons, you hit a Fafnir, pretty good. You play against any kind of Tribrigades. This card at a key moment to almost any card will shut down that combo that fast, and Infinite Permanence itself is just a broken card. The problem we always had with this card is it never really fit into the meta because the meta was so fast, or the meta was not impacted by this card. Right now it is. You can get Infinite Permanence at a maximum gold as low as $18, and then if you want original print cigarette Infinite Permanence, it's going to cost you a lot more. There's original print cigarette of Flames of Destruction. I gotta keep putting filters in for TCG Player for some ungodly reason. This version right here for the Let You Play first edition is roughly around $70 a copy. That's nowhere near as bad as the original price point, which is roughly around $90 at peak, $110, I believe. Then we have Zoodiac. Zoodiac right off the gate, I think will survive the ban list. I know it's crazy to say, and any hit to Zoodiac will more than likely put this deck back in its hypersleep, in which it was forever until Konami somehow decided to bring out Drytron, limit a barrage, and think that would fix everything. Well, it did for a very short amount of time. Zoodiac's combining with a lot of decks. Obviously, we're seeing a small Zoodiac engine allows Tribrigade to have a secondary resource, in which they're doing. But Zoodiacs by themselves are really good right now. Nobody's respecting them because everyone's too busy focusing on the meta. But looking at an OTG, Zoodiacs are running rampant despite the fact that they have so many cards like Maxi, Vanity's Emptiness, so many ways to stop Zoodiacs, but they're still doing amazing things. Looking at Zoodiacs moving forward, I do think this is going to be seeing more play. I don't think they're going to be going away, and they'll more than likely be roughly around a Tier 5, arguably Tier 2 slot as far as the meta core. They're not going away, so if you don't have Zoodiacs, you might want to start considering picking them up. Also, I'm keeping an eye on Broad Bowl because pretty good. Just throwing it out there. If you don't have your Broad Bowl, you might want to pick one up. Once again, it's like $2, $3, whatever. Okay. So, if you are running Zoodiacs, or a lot of decks that can run this card, Dimensional Fissure, stops a lot of decks in the game. Think about it. Turn 1, activate against Drytrons. Do you have a Harpy's Featherduster? No? Okay, cool. Enjoy never resolving things. Or you played against, Tribrigades. Hey, you need a bench from the graveyard? Cool. Nothing ever touches that. What's up? What's going on. You have a zoo answer? No? This game's done then. And the thing about Dimensional Fissure is good against a lot of other decks in general. Not only the Tier 1 decks, but 1.5, Tier 2, Rogue decks. That's where D-Fissure is so good against. D-Fissure Super Rare Champion Pack 8, by the way, is a lot of money. How much money you want to know? Well, you got one over here for $112. Then you got the next one for $120. Then $135. And then $200. And yeah, after that, it's $600. I doubt it'll go there. I mean, once again, you got to place it for $200. But yeah, D-Fissure is a lot of money because it came out Champion Pack 8. Champion Pack cards is worth money in general. The harder it is to find, the more money it's worth, and more likely people out there who would be able to pay that price point, believe it or not. All right. I already talked about Zoodiac. Okay. Macrocosmos. Macrocosmos, super rare at a Dark Vision Force with so much money, it's not even fair to talk about. You obviously have the Ultra Rares coming out of our Yellow Mega Pack, Legend Collection, as well as DT6. This card can also be run in Zoodiacs as well, because they don't really care much about the graveyard as every other deck in the game. And that puts them an edge above a lot of the meta decks. Once again, if you're looking to get Macrocosmos, you can get right now a DT6 one for like $5 to $6. That's not bad. I would recommend it if you do not have it. Then we have Contacting Sea. So I know we just talked about Zoodiac and Drytrons, and everyone who played Zoodiac and Drytrons were like, yay! Okay, here's how you smack them. You play this card, Contacting Sea. The minute they summon anything, you put Contacting Sea on board, and they can't do nothing. That's good news. The bad news, Contacting Sea as a common only came out Extreme Force and 2018 Megatin packs. That's it. After that, you're good. There's nothing else. Okay, the card's price point for the common is as low as $3. Lucky day for you. By the way, if you want an Extreme Force version, the original print version of Contacting Sea, no big deal. It's just a big deal if you want to find original print first edition because it's insanely, and I mean insanely hard to get. The price has been jacked up exponentially. This is for a first version. You're looking to pay a lot of money for it. I mean, obviously, you got an unverifiable seller, but for the most part, it's a good amount of cash for content to see. Once again, that's how you beat them. Well, what does it do? When your opponent normal summons or special summons a monster, except from the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field in defense mode. This card's controller cannot fusion, synchro, exceeds, or link summon unless they use this card as material. Pretty good cardboard. Once again, can Zoodiac and Tribrigade find a way to play as? Of course they can. Is it easy? Nope. And that's why it's a good side deck card. Okay, now we have Amazements. Amazement has hybrided with a lot of decks, specifically Eldritch. And Amazement is then definitely getting put on point. With Amazement Administrator Arlecchino, this card is currently roughly around $26. The market price showing to be $27. It has not went down in value at all. Trust me, I know this because I want to get my play set, and I'm not spending this kind of money for a deck card. I just love because I love saying the word amazing. It ain't happening. With that said, the rest of the Amazement core is relatively cheap besides the other their other card, the secret spell card. That's also money. But once again, wait on it. It will go down in value. Keep an eye on it. I really want this. It's amazing. All right. Inspector Board is a card I talked about a while ago, and how the fact that this card is definitely really good against the meta. The more the meta slows down, the better the Inspector Border becomes. If you don't have yours right now, if you want a original print version, a secret rare first edition, you're going to want to pay roughly around $7 a copy. It's roughly around 22, 23, 24 with tax and shipping. This card will see you play in the new meta, no doubt in my mind. Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, will Amazement's probably see meta play? Probably not. In fact, if you want my hit on the Banlist, I think Amazement will not see play, not because they're not amazing, they are, but they won't see play because it's going to be a good chance that we might see a hit to Eldritch. Then again, we might not with the reprints coming out. Konami might wait and then not hit Eldritch until afterwards. Nevertheless, I don't think we're going to see Amazement see as much play, unfortunately, even though I like this deck a lot. Forbidden Chalice is a card that's also starting to see a little bit of play. Forbidden Chalice is a tech in the OCG and now starting to mix between the TCG. And if you want an ultimate rare version of Forbidden Chalice, this card right here, Let You Play Unlimited, is roughly around $41. And if you want a first edition version of Forbidden Chalice, it's going to run you, you know, I'll just, for now on, we're in the future. Boom, hit that. Bam. There we go. It'll run you roughly around $96 a copy for ultimate rare Forbidden Chalice. Now, I'm not saying this card's good or bad, but man, that's a really nice ultimate rare. Is it worth $96? Probably not. Nowhere near as good as Vanity's Ruler. Now, Vanity's Ruler isn't seeing much play right now, but I always feel like this card is so unfair and broken. It's only a matter of time before Vanity's Ruler starts seeing play. It's kind of obvious. Now, obviously, you could say, well, wait a minute, Paisano, this card can see play in Drytrons, and you're not wrong. It definitely can. But Drytrons don't really use this card as much because they need a summon for the new Herald card. Okay? So that takes that out the equation. With that said, I feel like if you're playing Drytrons and your opponent hits your Fafnir, hits your Fafnir with like an infinite impermanence, if you can put another body on board, a Vanity's Ruler would definitely beat out a majority of decks in the game. We know they ran through one card. Do they have the second imperm? Probably not. You're going to probably win that game relatively easily. I'm just saying, this card's really good, highly undervalued. Nobody's looking at it right now, but it is definitely a game changer. Vanity's Ruler original print, by the way, if you want a first edition version, is roughly around $65. That's nothing compared to other cards that aren't seeing as much play. Don't get me wrong, this isn't seeing as much play, but it will be the minute everyone realizes, oh my god, this card's really good, what am I doing with my life? Okay, so then we have Anti-Spell Fragrance. This card sees some play in, well, and once again, Tribrigade, Zoodiac decks, but a lot of the decks are starting to look into Anti-Spell Fragrance. Obviously, you get the Power of Chaos, the promo version. That version is going to run you roughly around, yeah, Korean, no way. Okay, we go. Wait, what? Okay. Let You Played. We'll just go with Let You Played. Oh, don't even mention there. $28, which is a lot of money for this card. It's a lot of money. I personally don't own this, even though I like max rarity, and my reason for it is because I find, even though the promo is really good and really hard to find, I feel like it's overpriced. But nowhere near as underpriced as DT4. Well, it was underpriced. This card, I think I bought a place for roughly around $4 to $5. Made a market watch a long time ago talking about it. Looking at it right now, it's roughly around $18 a copy. Once again, DT4. Really hard to get. Not saying the promo isn't, but DTs are also hard to get. And as time goes on, if you pull away from that understanding, people are going to realize that every DT is going to be hard to get. Even the ones that are easy to get today will be hard to get tomorrow. Keep an eye on DT cards in general, specifically Anti-Spell Fragrance. We also have so did I go over deck course? Oh yeah, let's talk about Drytron for a quick second. Will Drytron survive the meta? Okay, here's a hard pill to swallow. I don't think Drytrons are going to survive this ban list. I think with this ban list, Konami's going to do any hit to Drytrons, which will immediately put them, if they're lucky, at tier 2. Drytrons, even though they recently got support in a new set, and V, they got to support in a new set, they'll definitely be good, right? Not necessarily. Being the fact that Konami already printed support doesn't mean they're going to be saved. I don't think they're going to be saved. I don't think they're going to be as seen as much play after this ban list. I want to be wrong because I like Drytrons, but I got to be honest with you, they're not a really fair deck. And they're not a fair deck in a meta in which, if we were going to be talking about hitting every other meta deck, and you think Drytrons will somehow survive out of all the meta decks, please let me know what brand or type of drugs you're using so I can get involved in that and be that out of my whack delusional. The deck is definitely, if arguably, one of the best decks in the meta right now, and I don't think they're going to survive being one of the best decks in the meta, period. Then we have, then we have Shadows. All right, so I know everyone's going to go, okay, V, obviously you're going to say Shadows is one of the best decks in the new meta, right? Yeah, oh, 100%. But here's why. Let me actually justify why I think Shadows will survive the ban list. It makes perfect sense when you think about it. We're going to have Despias come out. If Shadows don't survive, Invoke will survive. Either way, we're playing Fusion.deck. I know a lot of people go, well, Shadows and Invoke are totally different decks. Cool. Despias is more or less the bridge in between Shadows and Invoked. And we're about to have Despias come out. Despias is going to change the way we see meta play, and I do believe Despias and Shadows and Invoke all have the same playthrough and speed. Mid-range, the meta in which Konami wants to push us for. Why do you want to push us to mid-range? Well, they push us to mid-range, and then they sell us the combo decks afterwards. It makes perfect sense. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get a control deck, but more than likely, that's the meta we're going to. We get this meta which everything is tier infinity, full combo, then Konami slows us down to a point where it's majority of the decks, if not all the decks, are mid-range, and I do believe Shadows is one of many of those decks, and then Konami sells us the combo decks afterwards. That is the difference between the meta right now. We're slowing down. The brakes aren't fully hit there yet. We haven't slapped the brakes and haven't hit the wall, but eventually it's going to happen. And with this balance, I do foresee the fact that Konami will definitely slow the meta down even more than what we currently have it right now. And I think we can all agree, even though this meta is pretty fast, nowhere near as fast as the previous metas we've been into within the past year, despite the fact that everything else around us outside of my front door has been kind of slow. Listen, I do think we can see a meta in which Shadows are still going to be viable. Not only Shadows, maybe possibly even Burning Abyss, believe it or not, they might get a bump. But to acknowledge the fact that Shadows will be viable is to acknowledge the fact that, well, let's be honest, Shadows aren't done in the game yet. Oh, but V, we need to hit Winda. Yeah, because nobody's playing Infinite Impermanence, nobody's playing one of the many outs to get rid of Winda. And don't get me wrong, Winda is not a fair card if you are a combo player. Mid-range players don't care about Winda. It does nothing to them. The card they're more scared about for mid-range players is Construct, and it's not Winda. You're insane if you think so. And if you are worried about it, congratulations, you're playing a combo deck, you're about to get powered down before Konami tells you the next thing to buy. I'm not sure if anyone's new to the game, but they've been doing this kind of speed, this red light, green light thing for years. And I feel like everybody's like, they get shocked, they go, no, V, we'll have, the combo decks will rise up. We're not done yet. The meta's so fast, it's gonna slow down. And look at Shadows with the onset of Despias coming out. I think it's smart for Konami not to hit these. In a mid-range meta, it's going to be kind of crazy. And Shadows, Despias, Shadows Invokes, Despia, Eldritch, it's going to be really, really wild seeing what's going to be happening. Also, we have Mermails. I'm not sure if I have to tell you guys this or not, but Mermails are good. Well, Mermails are always good after the bans. After everyone's figuring out what to play, Mermails come out of nowhere and go, oh, you're still trying to figure out your deck, and shotgun your face. Looking at Mermails, as time goes on, they are getting more and more expensive to get. Specifically, the higher rarities. So much so, Konami is slowly reprinting Mermail cards. Well, very slowly, snail's pace. But we are seeing some Mermails get reprinted. Mermail Abyss is a card you're going to want to grab if you don't have this card already. Excuse me, at its highest rarity. We'll go to Name and Lady Played. This is for the Ultimate Rare. It's roughly around 39s, but if you want a first edition version, you're going to be paying a lot. First edition versions of the card is roughly around $80 to $90. By the way, after those are gone, it's $100 for Mermail Abyss. Now, that's Mermails, obviously, but you run them with Atlanteans. Okay, here we go. You run them with Atlanteans, and if you want to get your Dragoons right now, I mean, sure, no big deal. You're dropping roughly around $170 a copy for Dragoons. Once again, The reason why this is getting more expensive, and maybe if we're lucky, Konami will make some collector's rares or Starlight rares, but that doesn't negate the crazy high value these cards have, because every Yu-Gi-Oh player is slowly figuring out, as time goes on, as the meta goes on, Mermails become good, and they don't need anything. They're the original combo deck that does not care about the meta, because they're going to shotgun players are figuring out what to play in the meta. Once again, I'll tell you right now, debut weekend, if I don't know what I'm playing of a new ban list, I'm playing Mermails. That's my answer. You do Mermails or Monarchs. You play either M&Ms, and you smack the meta. It's very simple, but somehow everyone has kind of forgotten this ideology. Players years ago knew this very well. Players are slowly getting a hold of what this is. And before they do, I'm throwing it out there. If you don't have Mermails or Monarchs, you're going to learn to get them. Once again, you might say, V, Monarchs? That's crazy. Alright, cool. I put a Monarch on board. I put a Monarch domain. Hopefully you figured out your deck enough to stop this. By the way, this is only one of many things the deck does. The deck recently got some new support. That's for another video. Okay. So that will still be around. Prank Kids. Will Prank Kids be around? Sure. I think they will be. Now, will they be tier 1, which I think they are currently today? I think we can definitely agree that Prank Kids are tier 1. Will they still be tier 1? No. Prank Kids will more than likely be at best tier 1.5. Not bad, but not the best deck in the meta. Not BDIF, best deck in format, big dog in the room. That's not Prank Kids. Even though they still will be meta relevant, don't sleep on this deck. It will light you up. I think they'll be roughly around that. By the way, Prank Kids plays being roughly around $20. It's going to be going down in value. Doodle-Doo is definitely going to be going down in value. And the rest of Prank Kids is relatively inexpensive to buy. Going back to it, I do think... before I talk about Geist, I do think Dragon Links, right now as we know them, are going to be put back to sleep. Now, they're not going to have the whole hibernation phase that we saw with Zoodiac. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game of dragons and spellcasters. Dragons will eventually come back. Because why? They're dragons. The game has a... If you don't know about the history of Yu-Gi-Oh!, the most degenerate, crazy metas we ever had more than likely involved a dragon or a spellcaster. It really didn't involve them. They happened, but nowhere near as much as dragons specifically, and then followed by spellcasters. Looking at Dragon Links as they are right now, they've been around for, I don't know, how many years? Dragon Links are going to be getting hit, no doubt about it. Here's the question, how are they going to hit Dragon Links? Comment down below and let me know what you guys think. And then we have Geist. Hashtag Geist Gang. Geist Gang for life. Geist is probably one of the best, besides Guru, but I don't count that as a real player, one of the best control decks in the game, because there is the only control deck in the game that if you lose to, at least you have respect from the player, because they had to figure out how to win. Listen, looking at Altergeist, I do think Altergeist will still be around. In a slower meta, Altergeist thrives on that, and it will continue to thrive until the player base realizes they need to deal with this. This is a problem. It's not a problem right now as much as it is Guru is a problem. But moving forward into the new meta, I do predict that Altergeist will be one of the best decks that nobody's talking about right now. And when that happens, everyone starts talking about it or playing it. Geist Gang for life. If you're not ready for this deck, you're going to lose to it. It's very simple, but somehow everyone kind of forgets that mentality. Will Geist be tier 1? I don't know. I think in the beginning of the meta, it will be because nobody knows how to play around this. And then eventually it goes to tier 1.5, and it normally is locked in there. Like, I would argue it's locked in tier 1.5 right now. Once again, not the best deck, but played by a really good player can be the best deck. Played by an average player will be maybe tier 2, maybe 1.5, and played by a bad player, at very worst, you'll be tier 2. I still don't like Mystic Mime. Hopefully that gets hit in the ban, so we'll have to see what happens. You let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like button, and comment down below. I know I went through a lot of cards, and we did a mixture of the ban list prediction, or what's going to be good or bad in the ban list. Let me know what you think would survive. Let me know other decks I didn't talk about, and what do you think about those other decks, as well as, the cards in the market. Did you know some of these cards were worth this much money? I mean, it's crazy. But is it really crazy looking at the past year and how the market has exploded, and it's not cooling down? I would argue no. Looking at the game and the meta how it is right now, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are really excited to see what happens as far as the new ban list, as far as the YCS coming up, and a mixture of what comes first, ban list or YCS. Chicken or the egg, we don't know. I would love to see a ban list come first. I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players would, because the meta already is kind of boring, despite the fact that we got Lightning Overdrive. Hopefully we'll see that happens. We don't know, and if you want to know more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. YGOPaisanos, I'll see you paisanos. It's YGOPaisano. You guys have a great day.